This podcast is sponsored by nobody. Hey dudes, welcome to Splat from the Past, daily 80s themed horror sci-fi show where things can get totally radical. Now today I will be welcoming an old friend from high school, Grace Machado McClurg. I've known her since we were in high school. She was a theater kid. I did prop handling backstage, for the stage crew of the pajama game my senior year, and Grace was an actress in it. And it's going to be great to have her on today. She's like got her own home design business or something along those lines in Arizona, and it's going to be great to have her on today. We're going to reminisce old times, and we're going to nerd out on the entertainment of our youth, talking about film, television, and music from childhood. And it's going to be great to have her on and stuff. Always loved Grace. She was always awesome to me. She was a great hugger, I remember. And I miss those hugs, quite frankly. And it's going to be great to have her on today. And I just love doing these nerd outs. They are just so much fun. They're so much more fun than doing a standard, Q&A interview, which I've talked about this before, but it's true. I just love doing these a lot more. And it's always interesting to find out, what a person's tastes are in entertainment. You can really tell a lot about a person by talking to them about film, television, and music that they consumed as a child. It's just very, very interesting. And it's going to be great to have her on. So, yeah, here is my interview with Grace Machado McClurg. Hey, Grace, welcome to the show. How the hell are you?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I am fantastic. My God, I can't remember the last time I saw you. Was it maybe high school graduation?
Must have been. Yeah, I moved pretty quickly after that down to Long Beach for college, and have now I'm in Arizona, but haven't really been back to the Bay Area much since then. So long time. I don't want to say how long it's
Yeah.
been.
Yeah, because I was a bouncer at the Swinging Door from 2007 to 2009, and I saw everybody from high school, and I saw a lot of theater people around. Like I saw Dave LeBlanc and Chris Verducci, and I remember seeing Rebecca Child's brother Alex, and lots of
Uh-huh.
people. And like, yeah, I was always wondering, like, what was going on with you and everything.
Yeah, I ended up kind of shifting gears, as you know, in high school and growing up, I danced, right? So that's what I did.
Hmm.
I was a dancer. I did the shows and theater as well, but really my focus was dance. Um, and I when I went to Long Beach State for college, I got into their impacted dance program, and I was, kind of following that path. I worked at Disneyland in the parades as a dancer
Wow.
and just got um, burnt out, I think. And also, a lot of my fellow dancer friends were older than me. So I was seeing them graduate and struggle, um, just struggle physically, emotionally,
Hmm.
financially to really be in that industry as a career. And so I shifted gears dramatically, and now I went into interior design, interior architectural design
Right.
at the school, um, and graduated with a BFA in that in 2007, and have been working in designing hotels and restaurants around the world since then.
God, you are such an inspiration because, you mentioned about dancing. I mean, yeah, I mean, you were born with a condition. One of your feet is
Yeah.
disfigured. Did you go into dancing as a way of kind of trying to find a way to overcome that?
Yes. Yes and no. My mom put me into dance at the age of 3. And in an effort to help help with my balance, she said that uh, I would trip a lot, and so she didn't want me to really notice the difference, right? So what ended up happening with that, or why I have that, is it's something called amniotic banding,
Hmm.
and sometimes the wound will like get a rupture, get a hole or a tear, and then the body like quickly repairs that with like scar tissue basically, but with like ligaments and stuff, bands that close up that hole. And so my foot got stuck in it before that happened. And so the bands and everything closed up the hole with my foot inside of it. And so it cut off the circulation.
God.
Um, so that's kind of where that came from. And then, yes, my mom put me in dance at 3. My cousin was also in dance. She was 3 years older than me.
Hmm.
And so I was interested in that too. And we had that example to follow. And so that's kind of where I got started. And then I just fell in love with it. Um, and now I am actually back in the theater world, in the community theater world.
Nice.
Yeah, did you see?
No, no, I didn't know that you were back in the theater world. So you're doing a play currently?
Yeah, I just got cast as a featured dancer in The Prince of Egypt at our local community theater in Peoria, Theater Works. Um,
Oh,
and so that's been really exciting. I started my kids in theater. I have 3 kids, 12-year-old twins and a 7-year-old boy girl twins and a 7-year-old girl,
God.
and started the twins in theater right after the pandemic, like things started to open back up, and saw them on stage and saw everybody else on stage, and was like, I kind of missed
Yeah.
that. So I started taking dance classes again and started auditioning a couple, maybe like 18 months ago, and have since done Mary Poppins as a featured dancer, and then I
Wow.
was Demeter in Cats the musical at the same theater, and then now I'm going to be doing Prince of Egypt, and my son Grayson was cast as young Aaron in that show, so we'll get to do it together, which will be very fun.
Wow. That is amazing. God, 3 kids. God, where's the time gone, you know?
I know, 3 kids, a business, and a different state leader.
God, you are amazing, Grace. You really are. Yeah, you're from
Thank you.
yeah, you're from Foster City, right?
Yeah, originally, I grew up until age of about 10 in South San Francisco,
Hmm.
and then we moved to Foster City when I was about 10. Then I went to Bowditch and San Mateo from there.
Yeah, my cousin was in your class at Bowditch, Clinton Winkworth.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
I
he
remember.
yeah he lives in Texas and he's a trumper.
Oh well, there's some out there.
Yeah, it's scary. It's scary. Things have
I
been
know.
things have been kind of weird since my uncle died. I don't really talk to him much anymore, but
Oh, I'm sorry.
it's okay. But yeah, so like
I have a similar situation with someone in my family, so I get it.
we all
You don't
got
need
it. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
we all got it. Yeah, so like yeah, so so you started doing plays at Bowditch?
I did. Yeah, my mom actually forced me to do my first one. She was like, "I really think you're gonna like this." Because I also sang um,
Hmm.
at my dance studio. I did singing and stuff too, so we would do productions. And anyway, she's like, "I think you're really gonna like this," and I think she wanted to expose me for like the speaking stage presence as well as dance and stuff, for public speaking down the line. And so she forced me to audition for Guys and Dolls,
Hmm.
and so that was the first show I did at Bowditch. And then we did Fiddler on the Roof the next year, and Peter Pan the year after that, and and then went to San Mateo and did all the shows there too. But
Yep.
yeah, if she hadn't pushed me to do that, and I really didn't want to do it, like she really forced me. And look at me now. Yeah, if it wasn't for that, might not have met Jesse, might not have gotten married to him and had the kids we have and the life we
Yeah.
have. So, um, and the friends we have, really, I think the best thing that theater gave me was lifelong friends.
Yeah.
So I'm still in touch with a handful of people that we did shows with, and it's just one of those environments where it's so intense, and you're with them beyond school day, right? Like you're with them all day, every day, pretty much, um, rehearsing towards a goal and teamwork, and it's an intensive experience, and so I feel like relationships get really strong and deep really quickly. So that I think that's the best thing that I took from it.
Yeah, we had a we we had a drama club at Bayside that wasn't so great, and um, I was gonna go look into it in sixth grade, and for some reason I didn't. I was just scared or whatever, and then
Yeah.
I never got involved at Bayside, but I auditioned for the Sound of Music sophomore year, and that was a disaster. I can't sing, I can't dance, and I remember just before I was singing my audition song, Cameron Fife sing, and I was like, "Oh God, he's got this." And for
Now I have to follow that.
yes, he did. He for some reason he didn't get into that particular play, and he changed schools not long after that. I remember, but like I was like, wow, and yeah, I mean, senior year, I did the props backstage for the pajama game, and that was fun.
Yep, I remember that.
Yeah, God,
Yeah,
I
even being tech crew,
yeah.
that's a fun experience too.
Yeah, I couldn't do it I couldn't do it sophomore year, I remember, because I was doing wrestling and I was just exhausted. And then junior year I was going to do it, and then I was wrestling, and then I quit the team. I had a health scare that ended up being nothing. And then I was like, senior year I got to do it. So I did. I didn't sleep for almost a month, but it was fun.
No, exactly. That's so true. I think back, Jesse and I talked about um, back in high school, like we were so busy. How did we do it all? We never slept. I mean, literally, like, zero period, all day school, dance, singing lessons, theater, you know, um, weekends, theater practice and dance practice and things like that. And I was probably out of my house from 7 in the morning till 11, easily 11 p.m. most nights, most days. So my parents like never saw me. Once I got a car and was driving myself, it was like after 16 I was gone. They never saw me.
Yeah.
But even with my own kids, I wonder like how the heck did they drive me around and do all these things? Like it's hard. It's a lot of work.
Oh yeah. And like I remember me and the other prop person, Lauren Silver, we had to hear the same songs over and over again, and so we started just telling dirty jokes to like break up the monotony.
Yeah, it makes sense. Yeah, the songs get stuck in your head. My kids now they'll sing the songs even after they get home, so it's like nonstop.
Oh, I still hear them in my head like right now. Hurry up, we can't waste time. Hurry up.
Yeah. Hey, that wasn't bad. You said you were a terrible singer. That was good. You were on key.
Well, I sang karaoke for 10 years, so I think that kind of helped me.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's great. Also broke the nerves.
Yeah, yeah, I did, and I remember the first night I ever sang karaoke. It was the anniversary of my grandmother's death, and I sang "Let It Be" for her for the Beatles,
Oh.
and I was hooked on karaoke after that. For 10 years, I did it, and I didn't get good overnight. It took a long time, and people were still making fun of me, but I didn't care.
Yeah, it takes a lot of practice, and good for you for doing it for yourself and ignoring, the haters.
Well, it's funny that you say that. I remember what you wrote to me in my yearbook. You wrote that I've been called a person to be admired and stuff. And I remember asking you in like AOL Instant Messenger, like what that meant. And you said you seem to have a high tolerance for being humiliated or something like that.
Well, I think you're a very strong, emotionally strong person, and I think that is to be admired. A lot of
Thank
people
you.
can't get past some of their, I mean, everybody has, challenges, right? Their own
Right.
challenges. Um, and some people really struggle to get past even small ones. And so I think that you were a shining example even in high school, and probably didn't feel that way, but I think you were a shining example of like what it means to just be who you are and lean into that.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I didn't think about it at the time. I was actually
yeah,
always I was always actually trying to be somebody else, and I just, without even knowing it, without even realizing it, I was being myself. And
you're finding yourself in that.
right, and then like after my car accident, I just realized, okay, I don't need to do that anymore. I'm just going to be me as is, and if people don't like me, too bad.
Right, it's not worth it. It's not worth your time.
Exactly.
And I think I tell my kids, being yourself, you'll know really quickly who's worth your time and who's not.
Oh yeah.
Because the people that give you a hard time, and usually that's more about them than it is about you.
Right.
Um, my daughter struggles with that a bit, with perception, of others. And we were at a trampoline park recently, and she likes to wear like she makes and wears like animal masks and tails and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and so she was wearing it and playing in the trampoline park, and some kids were teasing her about it. Um, but they kept hanging around her, and I'm like,
Yeah.
well, what does that tell you? They're probably envious of the fact that you feel comfortable being yourself and they can't be.
Yeah.
Like you're
Yeah.
you're doing your thing and they can't be. You're like, or they like you or they like it and they don't know how to react, right? They don't
Right.
really know how to show it, or they're embarrassed to say that in front of their friends, so they just like tease you instead, or they're just mean. And either way, like those are all them, not
Yeah.
you. It has nothing to do with you. And now like, okay, those are not my people. So
Right.
I guess better to know early than waste your time building a relationship with somebody, a friendship with somebody um, that doesn't appreciate you or value you as you.
Yeah.
Um, so I try to instill that in my kids, but it's hard, especially growing up in your preteen years and teenage years. It's definitely the hardest. You still don't really know, so you're experimenting with different things. You're not secure really in who you are as an adult, right? Like who you are as a kid is kind of changing, and now you have to find who you are as a teenager and into your adult years, right? So,
Right.
um, yeah. Well, I'm happy that I hope that meant something to you, and I'm happy that you remember that
Oh
and has
yeah.
impact on you.
Oh yeah, I mean, yeah, it's funny. I talked to my mom about this recently about how after my car crash, like I learned who my true friends were, and I certainly have doing this podcast as well. There's so many people who I am just shocked have not been like on board or happy about me having a podcast and like following my dream and everything. It's just astounding to me, and it goes back to what you were saying. It's about them than it is about me.
It is. It is definitely.
But absolutely. So
But look at you now. Look at you now.
I know, I know. I mean, I've talked to everybody from Eric Roberts to Adrienne Barbeau to a member of the Go Go's. I mean, I've just been just so lucky and so blessed the last 8 years I've been hosting this podcast.
You've been living your best life. I'm
Exactly.
so happy for you.
Thank you.
That's
Yeah.
all we can hope for
Yeah.
in this world, you know?
Yeah. It's just been a roller coaster ride.
Realize too, like life is short.
Life is
Life is
short.
short. And so if you're not enjoying it, day
Mhm.
to day, make some changes because all we know for sure is we have this one life.
That's all we have. That's all we have.
That, yeah.
So let's nerd out. So,
Yeah, sounds good.
so going back in time, do you remember the first movie that impacted you as a child?
Oh, that's a good question. Maybe, gosh, I don't really know the first movie that impacted me. I can't really remember. There's a few that I'm thinking of off the top of my head, like The Never Ending Story, um,
Oh, love it.
E.T., and probably the Star Wars movies. I grew up um, with an older brother,
Yep, me too.
9 years older, and an older cousin, 5 years older, and then my female cousin, who's 3 years older. So they were all, and my mom is a sci-fi lover as well. So they were all really into Star Wars, and so I feel like I have watched Star Wars since I came out.
Yeah,
Out of the
yeah.
womb. Like this. So I would say those ones off the top of my head were some of the earliest ones that I remember and impacted me in different ways.
Yeah, Back to the Future for me was the first one.
Oh, Back to the
I used to
Future.
look I used to look at my parents' yearbooks from San Mateo High, and I used to have that
Yeah.
fantasy of going back in time and seeing them in high school and finding out why they are the way they are and why I am the way I am. I have found out over time, but we don't need to go there. But that was the precipice for it, you know.
Yeah, definitely. I Back to the Future. Love Back to the Future. We just showed it to my son, and all my twins,
Hmm.
probably like a year ago, maybe 6 months ago,
Yeah,
and he loved it just as much. And we were thinking, like, gosh, what's really crazy is that, like, if it was made today and he went back 30 years, that would have been the 90s. Like, what?
yeah,
Like, it feels like the world hasn't really changed that much since the 90s as it did between the 80s and the 50s.
yeah.
Do you feel that way?
Oh yeah. I mean, if they were to make it now and they go back in time to like 1995, 30 years ago,
Right.
it wouldn't be that much different other than, we got cultural appropriation now and all that stuff. But like,
Right.
it wouldn't be the same. So like 1955, 1985 was just perfect.
It was so, like, the music was so different. I mean, everything was so different. And so a bit of me feels a little gypped, like, hey, why have we been stagnant, like entertainment wise, culturally,
Hmm.
music, for the most part, I feel like music is fairly similar to what it was then, and like the styles now, the 90s clothing styles and things are coming back, and like MTV culture is kind of coming back, making a comeback. It's all considered vintage,
Yeah.
um but I feel like for the most part, it's, maybe changed 20% and is 80% the same.
Yeah, my brother was born in '73. I was born in '83, and he recorded everything off HBO when we first got it, and
Yeah.
we had The Neverending Story, The Last Starfighter, all the teen
Yeah.
sex comedy movies like Animal House,
Oh,
Porky's, Police
yeah.
Academy.
Yeah.
Yeah, and yeah, we had all that stuff. We had this kids movie I used to watch all the time called Kid Code. Do you remember that?
I don't know.
Yeah,
What is that about?
it was based on a true story. Back in the '70s, there were a boy and his two sis and his three sisters actually. A boy and his three sisters. They started their own fertilizer business, and they didn't know that you had to have permits and licenses and all that. Right? They made
Uh-huh.
millions of dollars, and then
Oh my
they went to court for it.
Oh my gosh, that's crazy. I kind of want to watch that now.
Yes, and that family now they're in the aviation business.
Wow, good for them.
Yeah.
That's great. Another one that impacted me actually was the Lifetime movie, The Face on the Milk Carton. Did you ever see that?
I did at a certain point. I don't remember much about it though.
It was um, it was basically about a girl who got kidnapped when she was young, and she had uh, and then do you remember when they put faces of kidnapped children on
Yep.
the milk carton?
Yep.
So she was like older. I think she was a teenager, and they did like an age representation of what she might look like as a teenager or that age.
Hmm.
And she saw her face on the milk carton at the store,
Yeah.
or at her house or something. And so it unravels this whole thing. But that, and then do you remember Polly Klaas's kidnapping?
Oh yes, I
And
remember.
and then also like all around that time, also there was it JC Dugar maybe,
Maybe.
um, that was also kidnapped around that time. So that like scared. I remember that scaring me a lot. Like hearing about those kidnappings and stuff, and it makes me think about, and then the movie too, but it makes me think about now, like we're so exposed, like even kids, right, are so
Yeah.
exposed to the news and negative news
Hmm.
that, like, I'm sure that's contributing to the mental health crisis that we're seeing in youth right now.
Oh yeah.
Just like having all of those fears, because it seems so tangible, or so much closer, because there's so much more like knowledge, right?
Yeah.
Information kind of being shared. But I remember that movie impacting me too, like scaring me. I also loved the Battle for Endor.
Oh yeah.
I love that. And Sindel, like I named all my dolls Sindel at that time.
Even your Barbies.
Yeah, all of them were named Sindel. It was like, oh, this is baby Sindel, this is Barbie Sindel.
Yeah. Oh, that's great. Yeah. Did you
Yeah.
did you have any movie crushes?
Um. Oh, probably the actor in Casper. Probably, or do you
Bill
remember Ladybugs?
Ladybugs. Oh yes. Jonathan
Yeah.
Brandis.
Yes. Yes.
Yep.
Unfortunately, he passed away, but yeah, probably him. Jonathan Taylor Thomas. The
Hmm.
typical. Um, then it probably shifted to like Leonardo DiCaprio in Titanic.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, some of those.
Yeah, I was into like Cary Grant and Natalie Wood and like
Yeah.
all the '80s movie actresses that I've interviewed and become friends with, and
Oh, that's great.
it's kind of bizarre now because they're like my aunt now, you know.
Right, right. Growing up with them. I know, it's so funny. It's
Yeah.
so interesting.
God, remember we had the most awesome UHF channels in the Bay Area. We had KBHK 44 and KTVU Channel 2 and Action 36 KICU and Coffee 20, and now they're owned by corporations. It's sad.
Yeah, it's so true. Finding those, like, I guess now YouTube has kind of taken over that, right? The more independent shows and things like that.
Kinda.
Uh,
Yeah.
my kids are like watch some YouTube series that they like, but they're mostly animated.
Hmm.
Um, and I know like some of the big networks are buying them now too. Like as they get bigger, they'll buy them and stream them on their services. But yeah, that is a major shift. I mean, I remember getting Netflix DVDs in the mail and thinking like that was like a game changer,
Yeah.
Look where we are now. But I did the same thing. My grandfather had a black box, right? And then he had the double the double VCR where you could like copy tapes and stuff.
Yeah. Oh yeah, we had that.
um, and so yeah, so he would like record the movies or whatever that was on, or the shows for us on VHS. And I still have to like transfer all of my like theater show VHS tapes over um, to digital because
Hmm.
at some point our last VCR is not going to work anymore.
I got a VCR and I got a huge collection of VHSs that I'll always have, even if there's no more VCRs, I'll still have them because when I was a
Yeah.
kid, it was always my dream to have my own video store, and so I have it in my room.
Really? Oh, that's fantastic.
Yeah,
I love that.
I love
You
it.
can open up a new blockbuster, you know, a local video rental shop.
Nah, I just rather have my own private, video library.
Your collection.
I'm
That's
sure
nice.
I'm sure the Italian side of you had like a love for like the Godfather movies.
Oh, I'm actually not Italian, but my dad did love those movies.
I thought you were at
I'm my
least
dad is
I thought you were like part Italian.
no, my dad is from Honduras,
Oh, okay.
so I'm Honduran, and my mom's family is English and German.
Okay.
A mix of those, yeah. But my father loved those movies, and he loved everything like mafia
Yeah.
stories. So I did grow up with that. And what was that? The Sopranos.
The
That was the other one
Sopranos.
that yeah, that he really loved, and so he had like the whole set of all of those.
Goodfellas.
Yep, yep. And my mom, like I said, she's a sci-fi lover, so, and she's a reader, so she read all the books. So she read Jaws, you know, before Jaws came out, and
Yeah.
she loved Jaws, and she read Jurassic Park, you know, before that came
Hmm.
out, and she loved that movie too. That was another like crazy good movie of like the very first like CG technology,
Yeah.
and to go back and watch that and for it to still hold up today, you know, like the quality of the CG, it's like it's pretty amazing.
Yeah, well, it's funny, people talk about the original Dune being such a bad sci-fi
Yeah.
movie. I'm a purist. I love the original because it was just something so badass about it. And like David Lynch, his forte was not sci-fi, but somehow he made it work, and just nobody was satisfied with it.
Yeah, I think there's always that, right? Again, there's always the haters, there's always the
Yeah.
people that are not satisfied with it. But I think when you look at it from an artistic standpoint, and from like you said, well, who was the director at the time that created this? What were their strengths, and how, you know, what did it take for them to pull this off? And they did pull it off, you know.
Hmm.
Um, I think you can, even if you're not a fan of the movie, I haven't actually seen it, but even if you're not a fan of those movies, like you can appreciate it from a different standpoint, from a technology standpoint, from a you know, cinematography standpoint, or even a business standpoint.
Right.
Um, I think it's always good to look at things that way and not take things at face value, you know? I
Right.
think that's what I feel like we're in the world now where everything is very surface. It's like our discussions, our arguments, everything is like just barely scratching the surface of any issue or any topic.
Oh yeah.
And I think we're losing the ability to critically think, right? Deep dive and really do research and um, you know, really be knowledgeable about something before we start talking about it or arguing about it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it started with them getting rid of the fairness doctrine in media, and now it seems like there's no fairness doctrine in real life either. It's sad.
Right. It's so true. Yeah, it's so true. I think it's like that saying, you know enough to be dangerous.
Yeah.
I feel like everyone just knows enough to be dangerous, but doesn't really know as much as they should about any one thing.
Yeah. So, did your parents take you to the Burlingame Drive-In?
They didn't, but I did go in high school to the drive-in. Yeah, I think I saw Waterboy there. I saw Stir of Echoes, the horror movie there. I definitely saw a few things there. So fun. And there's a local drive in here. We've taken our kids to it a few times. We saw Lightyear there. which was funny because I think I mentioned my son is a horror lover, and we were watching Lightyear, and he saw
Hmm.
Scream 5 playing on the other screen at the same
Yeah.
time. And he was just starting to get into wanting to watch, like, he's afraid of horror, he's afraid of blood, he's afraid of those things, but he like pushes himself. He likes that feeling of being able to overcome that.
Hmm.
And so I think he might have seen like Scream 1 at that point or something. And so he was watching Scream 5.
Hmm.
And then he went home and watched all of them. And then we saw Scream 5 in theaters. And then now, now he's seeing all of them. He's seen all the Halloweens and all the Saws and all. He's going through his list.
Yeah, horror's always been my genre.
Yeah.
Comedy and horror. And this started out as a horror-focused podcast, and then it just evolved into everything that I'm all about because there's a lot of toxicity with the horror fans online, and I just didn't want to be a part of it, you know.
Oh, that's interesting. That's sad
It is, but
that that's happening.
at the same time, it reminds me of high school. It's just very clicky and like,
Oh,
you
yeah.
know, I didn't belong in their group, so I was just like, okay, goodbye, you know.
Yeah. Oh, that's unfortunate. Yeah, we unfortunately we tell our kids the same thing. Like, you're gonna encounter these types of people throughout your life,
Yeah,
and better learn about it now and know how to get through it. How to handle it. Um,
yeah,
than than being exposed to it for the first time as an adult, and being like, what?
yeah,
Because my kids, we homeschool, so my kids don't go to public or private school like in person. They go to online schools, so
that's
they
good.
don't really deal with that as much, definitely, as we had to. But they do theater and they do other things. They do some sports as well, and so they deal with it to a degree and in a different way. But more so, it's like sometimes they feel like they can't relate to pop culture right now,
Yeah,
because they're not in it.
yeah,
I think they tend to relate to more nostalgic things, like stuff that we grew up with, because that's what they're around.
right. So getting into television, like you remember like TGIF Fridays on
Oh,
ABC?
loved it.
Yeah,
Yep, loved it. And I loved Alfred Hitchcock Presents, I think is what it
me
was
too.
called. And whenever I could
Me
stay up
too.
late to watch it, I like, oh, loved it. Loved the Dick Van Dyke Show. Um,
Wow.
those two were like, I think, my favorite Nick at Night
Yep.
ones. And then I kind of had grown out of it by the time they started playing like Full House and other things that
Yeah.
we all started up with. Um, but I liked the black and white show. Mary Tyler Moore, that was in color, but I liked that too, that
Yep.
show.
My Three Sons.
My Three Sons, yes, loved that one too.
Yep.
There's a lot of good TV. Do you remember the Hogan family, or
Yeah,
what
yeah.
was it called?
It was Valerie Harper's show, and then after they got rid of her, it became the Hogan family.
Okay, yes. So I watched that, and Jesse and I still talk about this. Do you remember the Halloween episode where they turned into zombies?
Yes.
That was like, you asked about like what was the most impactful movie. Like, I think that scared me so much. I remember it to this day. And then the other thing, I don't know if you knew this or not. So Jesse was in an Oreo commercial when he was young. He was like,
No, I didn't know that.
yeah, I think he was maybe 12 at the time. And I don't know if you remember this commercial, but I definitely did, because I wanted this to be real life. It's where it was the first Unlock the Magic Oreo commercial, and the kid comes home and he's like, I'm going to go out and play, or whatever. He comes down, and
Hmm.
his mom's like, not so fast, not until you clean your room. And he like sits on his bed and opens the Oreo cookie, and the clothes and things start putting themselves away magically,
Huh. I don't
on their
remember that
own. And
one.
then he like leaves, and he's like, later, Do you remember it?
I do not. I want to see
Oh,
this
okay.
now.
Yeah, I know it's you can't find it online for some reason. Probably because Industrial Light and Magic did the special effects.
Yeah.
So we got to go to the studio and like see the Star Wars stuff. And anyway, I remember that commercial because I wanted that to work, right? Like I
Yeah.
wanted somebody else to clean up my room. And so when he told me that he was in that commercial, I was like, "That was you! That's crazy!"
God, that's so awesome. Yeah.
Yeah, that's
I
funny. But he says that that scared him too. He remembers that episode of Hogan Family as well.
yeah. I mean, I watched Nick at Night like crazy. I loved Mork and Mindy.
What? Yeah, that was a great one.
I loved the Monkees. I had a crush on Davy.
Yeah, aw.
um,
Yeah, that I loved Queen.
the band
Um,
Queen.
yeah, the band Queen.
Love them. Yeah.
Um, we did we did some like dances to their music, and it was always really impactful. I feel like that's kind of the lens that I viewed music
Hmm.
through, is through dance.
Yeah.
Like, does this make me feel like I want to dance to it? You know, can I envision like a dance routine to this song, or like have I done a dance routine to this? It like always brings me back to that time.
Yeah. Remember the Babysitters Club?
Yes, I didn't watch it so much, but yeah, and I didn't read the books either, really, but my cousin did. I do remember it.
Yeah. It's funny, that show and Encyclopedia Brown, they were HBO's highest rated kids shows. They only lasted one season, and I always wondered why. Well, I found out Encyclopedia Brown got canceled because the guy who owned the rights to it, who produced the show, he was an illegal immigrant and he got deported like halfway
Oh,
through.
man.
And then the Babysitters Club, the girls grew over hiatus. They didn't want to continue on with them all grown up, and they didn't want to replace the girls yet. So they just canceled it, and then they did the movie like 5 years later.
Oh, interesting. That's so interesting. Do you ever watch the show, like movies that never almost didn't get made or something like that?
I've heard of it, yeah.
Yeah, we've watched that a few times, and that's super interesting to see. Like, wow, like what is that movie called? Why am I drawing a blank on Dirty Dancing?
Oh, yeah.
Like Dirty Dancing was almost not made, and like the song, they couldn't find a song, got down to the wire like day before kind of thing before
Hmm.
they started filming. They finally picked the song, and it was, you know, at the bottom of the trash pile kind of thing.
Yeah.
um, and do you remember the show Goosebumps?
Yeah, I did. I didn't watch it, but I remember it.
Yeah, so I watched it a little bit, and Jesse watched it, and then our kids, our twins, just did the Goosebumps musical Junior,
Hmm.
and it was based on one of the episodes, the Phantom of the Auditorium episode. And the musical is based on that, and so they got to perform that, and they watched all the Goosebumps like shows, nostalgic shows, and then we watched the new show that came out, and the movies too. That was fun.
Nice. Yeah,
That
but
was a fun flashback.
yeah, I watched Saturday morning cartoons like Alvin and the Chipmunks and the Smurfs,
Yep, definitely did. Gummy Bears.
Gummy
Do you remember
Bears,
that? Yeah.
My Little Pony,
Rainbow Bright, My Little Pony. Yep, my kids were into My Little Pony.
Gem,
Now, too. Which one?
Gem.
Gem. Oh my gosh, Gem. I hated Gem. You know why?
Why?
My initials are GEM, Gem. And
Well, you are a gem.
oh, thanks. And
Yeah.
so I like people would always like sing, Gem, it's truly a race, it's truly,
Yeah.
and I'd be like, stop! Especially my cousin would do that to me. I also loved Winnie the Pooh. Do you remember
Oh yes.
it's called The Adventures of Winnie the Pooh, maybe,
I
or
watched it. Yeah, I watched it all the
where
time.
they had like the real life stuffed animals in the beginning,
Um,
like opening credits, and then they would do the cartoon, or Chip and Dale
yep, Chip and Dale. Um,
with the record. They're like on the record
yep, Goof
watching
Troop,
it. Like, yeah, I loved those goofy shorts as
Animaniacs.
well. Animaniacs. I
Yeah.
didn't really watch that as much. I did as I got older, but I actually, when I was really little, I was an early riser, so I would get up and like 6 a.m. or something and watch Mousercise
Oh yes, I used to dance
and
to the
like the
Mousercise.
Dumbo Circus, the
Dumbo
like
Circus. Yeah.
the like puppet and like costumed ones, and there was a Winnie the Pooh one too that like was in costume. Yeah, I love those.
Remember the
Rainbow Bright,
Rainbow Bright, Strawberry Shortcake.
Strawberry Shortcake. Yep.
Remember Denver the
Yeah.
Last Dinosaur?
I remember it. I mean, I remember the name, but I don't remember
Yeah,
what it was about.
there's like four teenage boys and they find a dinosaur that was like, he was like buried in their yard like 1,000 years ago, and
Oh,
they
wow.
find him, and like, they're hiding him from the world and stuff.
Oh, that's cool. No, I don't think I ever watched it, but I remember that it existed. I also liked the movie Land Before Time,
Yep.
Littlefoot. I loved that movie. I probably watched that on repeat. Loved that
They
movie.
made like 10 of them.
Yeah, I know. I only remember the first one,
Me
but
too. That too, because I
um,
think that was the only one that was released in the theaters.
oh, maybe that makes sense. That makes sense. Yeah, made for TV movies. I think it's funny now, like sometimes we'll watch live TV, and my kids will be like, "Can we fast forward through the ads?" They're not called commercials anymore. They're called ads.
Yeah.
And like, can we fast forward? I'm like, no, you have to sit through the commercials. They're like, oh goodness, their attention span, their patience for getting through that is. We have
Yeah.
a rule: only one device at a time, because I don't want them to, have to be on a device or have to be occupied all the time. Like it's good to be bored.
Yeah. Remember the Nickelodeon game shows Double Dare and Finders Keepers and Think
Yes.
Fast? Yeah.
And what was the one where they? Oh, what was that? There was a game show on Friday nights. You can't do that on television.
Oh yes. Well, that wasn't a game show; it was a sketch show.
Oh, a sketch show. Okay, yeah,
Yeah.
that. And then like the one where they slimed them. Was that the same
That
thing? I
was
don't know.
yeah. Well, Double Dare also slimed, but yeah,
Double Dare. Yeah.
yeah, like Nickelodeon became the Slime Network, so they had like the slime logo.
That's right. That's right. I remember that now. Yeah, those were really fun to watch. Or American Gladiator.
Yeah, American Gladiators. Yeah, I remember
Yeah.
they did an episode of Family Matters where Carl Winslow and Urkel are like in American
That's
Gladiators.
right. That's right. That was so fun. I liked that show too. Watched that.
Yep.
Um, I think they're doing a new like spin-off or something, aren't they?
They've been working on that for years. I don't know if it'll ever happen, to be honest.
That's a bummer. Yeah, that would be a good one
Because
to see come back.
yeah, because Urkel, he came out with a memoir like recently, and he was doing a lot of interviews for it.
Oh, okay. I didn't realize that. Um, yeah, I haven't seen him much in like in too many things since then. A couple of things, but not anything major.
Yeah, he's been. I mean, he's forever known for that character. And
It's a blessing and a curse.
yeah, and I know he was kind of difficult to work with at that time, so maybe that has something to do with it too. But like,
Uh,
yeah, it's sad. I mean, some people get out of it. Like Henry Winkler thought he was always going to be known as
yeah.
Fonzie, but he's had a good career since The Water Boy.
Yeah, well, and I think that's interesting. There was a long enough break, and he's he's in a different genre of character now,
Yeah.
right? So he can expand his career, and I do love that. I love the story that Morgan Freeman
Hmm.
started his acting career at 40.
Yeah. He did
And
the Electric Company.
I just love seeing the success, and I think the growing success of older actors as well, that it's not like so focused on youth. It
Yeah.
seems to be shifting. I'm loving like all the stuff that Helen Mirren is doing. I mean, uh, why am I forgetting her name? Meryl Streep.
Meryl Streep.
Um, yeah, she's just amazing, and I love that story too. I tell the kids the story of her like auditioning for King Kong, was it?
Yeah.
Where they said like, oh, you won't make it in this industry, you're not pretty enough or something,
Yeah.
and just look at her now, you know.
Yeah.
I love stories like that, and comeback stories. It's great.
Yeah. So getting into music, I mean, do you remember the first album you were given, or maybe you bought with your own money?
Um, I remember the first cassette that I was obsessed with.
Okay, what was it?
And it was like Motown hits or something.
Hmm.
Um, it was a song. It was like, who put the bop in the bop shabop shabop? Who put the in the rebel and the, and I just like, I wore my Walkman and I played that over and over and over again.
Hmm.
And the other one I liked a lot as a cassette, I had Thriller, the
Yes,
Thriller
Michael Jackson.
cassette. Yeah, Michael Jackson. I think I had Whitney Houston's album at the time on cassette,
Yeah.
maybe. Mariah Carey, maybe. I loved Bette Midler's song, Wind Beneath My Wings. I remember like that.
Hmm.
I just love that song.
From a
Um,
Distance.
from a Distance, yes, love that song too. Uh, I remember that I got invited to a New Kids on the Block concert in kindergarten or first grade. And my mom was like, "You are not going to a concert at 6 years old." So that's a no. But I remember watching the
Same
concert
here.
on VHS. They had like a video, like a movie, a concert movie kind of thing on
Yeah.
VHS, and I remember watching that.
Oh, I remember wanting to go to see the Bengals at Great America when I was 6, and my parents wouldn't take me, and that ended up being their last gig for 10 years because they
Oh,
broke up. They broke up like 3 days later. It was a mess, that breakup.
oh, yeah.
And yeah, I just remember being heard about that. But like, yeah, I mean, I like New Kids on the Block and Wilson Phillips, and all the kids in second grade called me a
Yeah,
girl.
Wilson Phillips. Oh
Yeah.
my god. Yes, Wilson Phillips. I liked them too. Um, ABBA.
ABBA was great. Yeah.
Yeah. Um, and then I remember in middle school, I don't know if it was my first CD or not, but it was definitely my most played CD. It
Hmm.
was TLC's um,
Waterfalls.
album. Yeah, their Waterfalls album. Yeah,
Yeah.
and that was the first song that I like made a conscious effort to memorize the words.
Yeah.
Like the rap portion.
Yeah.
And my friend and I would like sit and play it and then replay it and replay it. We'd like try to listen, like, okay, it's this, and we practice it. Um, and then I feel like after that, then my music became all show tunes, like just
Yeah.
whatever show I was in, like Phantom of the Opera and Rent,
Rent.
um, the Moulin Rouge soundtrack from the movie. Um, and my brother would just like die. He's like, "Do we have to listen to this on repeat?" I'm like, "Yes, I do." And I had the visor um, a CD holder visor in the car, so I had like the CDs in there
Mm-hmm.
to swap them out.
My dad had a
Yeah.
rock band, and like he had
Really?
tons of vinyl records. Like he had the Beatles and the Stones and the Beach Boys, and Carole King's Tapestry and Fleetwood Mac's Rumors, and lots of great records.
That's fantastic. Yeah, we didn't really, my parents didn't really keep their records. And they did for a while. I mean, I remember having a record player when I was a kid, like under 10, but I don't remember it beyond that. What I do remember is my mom was a computer programmer.
Mm-hmm.
And so we had, we always had a computer in the house, as soon as they had like the first Apple green screen computer, we had that, and then when Windows came out, um, I remember using DOS, and then when Windows came out, it made it so much easier to access
Hmm.
applications. And my dad was an entrepreneur at heart, and so he had his own restaurant actually when I was a kid, in
Mm-hmm.
Pacifica, and he was always looking for the latest technology and latest thing. And so I remember the dot matrix printer that he would print like signs on and stuff.
Yeah.
um, so more, yeah, more technology kind of nostalgia, I guess. Um, my dad always listened to jazz, so whenever he drove me around, like we would always just listen to jazz. And I remember watching the Grant. I guess it was called Nashville Presents. Have you heard of that show?
National Presents. No.
I think it was called Nashville Presents. There was like the Grand Ole Opry stuff,
Oh,
and
I know the Grand Old Opry. Yeah.
yeah, so they would like have performers. It was like a late night talk show, but they had performers,
Mm-hmm.
country performers, and like Grand Ole Opry performers and stuff on that. And so I would wake up what I thought was the middle of the night. It was probably 1 a.m. or something, or maybe even like 11. I don't know. I would go to sleep, and then I would wake up in the middle of the night, and my mom would always say, "Wake up my dad," because he had a weird sleep schedule.
Mm-hmm.
And so my dad would sit up and watch cartoons with me in the middle of the night, like Looney Tunes cartoons, and then
Yep.
that would come on last, and we would watch that together until I fell asleep, and then went back to bed. But that was a good memory, especially now. My dad passed away two almost 3 years ago now, about two
I'm
and a half years
sorry.
ago.
I'm sorry.
Um, and so having those memories with him is really special.
Yeah. I feel bad for anybody who loses a parent. I've been so lucky to have mine, and I hope it lasts longer because it's got to be the most awful feeling in the world not to have a parent.
It's so strange because it's the one person, like, you've always relied on them, right? They've always been in
Hmm.
your life. One of the few people that have like always been in your life. And so to not have them, it's very odd. Um, yeah, there's definitely a void that I feel like just won't ever be filled, because it's a parental void.
Yeah.
Um, but since then, my mom has moved in with us, so now she lives with us,
Oh,
which has been
beautiful.
really great because we get to spend so much time with her, and the kids get to spend so much time with her. Um, and her mother just recently passed away at the age of 92, so we're
Wow.
really hopeful. My mom's 73, so hopeful that she'll make it into another 20 years at least.
Yeah. My mom's 71. I took care of my nana for 9 months after I graduated high school, which was a big responsibility. I was 18, and when she died right in front of me and my mom, it was just devastating. And I just hope to
That's
God
a
I don't
lot.
have to go through that again.
Yeah, we had to take care. My dad was on hospice. I was taking care of him every day as well. He ended up passing at the hospital, but we had to take him back to the hospital for something. But yeah, that was a very intensive 3 weeks for us. I can't imagine if you had to, you have to do it for longer periods of time.
What was your first concert?
My first concert was the Dave Matthews Band in high school. I went with Anna Rossi and Peter Mizante and Megan Fontana and Michelle. I'm trying to think who else was there.
Michelle
Anyway,
Garcia.
yeah, Michelle Garcia, Jackie Dumais, um, I think was there. A few other of the boys in that friend circle. And
Probably,
it was amazing. It was so fun.
probably Andrew Kim and Bobby Kays or somebody.
Yeah, yep. Andy Velasquez probably
Yeah, yeah. My
performed or
My
something.
yeah, my first big concert was Alice Cooper, and we had just lost a huge football game that day. We were playing against Piedmont Hills. They beat us 41-6. I remember we got the touchdown in the last 30 seconds of the game, and it was depressing. So my dad takes me to the concert that night at the Warfield in San Francisco. Oh my God, Alice Cooper is a showman. I recommend anybody go seeing him. He's
Yeah.
still doing it. He's in his late 70s. He's still doing it.
That's crazy. I didn't know that he was still doing stuff. He has a restaurant and bar out here in Arizona. I think it
Hmm.
might have closed. But before we moved out here, when Jesse's parents retired out here,
Yeah,
we came to visit and they took us to his restaurant. Um, so yeah, there's a lot of nostalgia for them around Alice Cooper for sure. They loved him.
yeah. How's Jesse's mom doing?
She's doing great. I know it's funny. People laugh like I said, oh yeah, I've known her since I was 13 because she was our attendance lady,
Yeah,
and I was her TA, and that was fun. Yeah, they're doing great. They're living out here in Arizona and enjoying their best life.
that's wonderful. That's wonderful. Yeah, I always loved her. She was always so friendly and flirty at the same time.
Yeah, she's very social, so
Hmm.
that's nice. You
Yeah,
know, she has made a lot of friends out here, and then
I know the feeling.
we benefit from that too.
I know the feeling. I lived in Arizona for 3 months back in 2007. I had to get the hell out of there.
Oh yeah, were you here in the summer? Is that why you left so quickly?
Okay, so I moved out there in February. I went back home to California for 6 weeks from end of April to end of May. And then I came back for the month of June. And then when I left on 4th of July, it was 120 degrees.
Yeah, yeah, sounds about right.
Yeah, so overall it was 3 months, but like I had to get the heck out of there. My mom's ex, who's no longer with us, he bought a house, and she really wanted me to go with them. And I just like my life was starting to get good again in the Bay Area. I just started doing stand up, and I was losing weight, and just life was getting good. And I had to put that all on hold for a little bit, and then I came back, and then that's when I started working at the swinging door.
Oh yeah, good. Are you still doing stand up?
I haven't done stand up in about 7 years. There's days when I want to do it and days when I just don't because of the politics and the bringer shows and all the
Yeah,
stuff that they have
yeah,
to that we have to go through nowadays. But back in the day, all you had to do was be halfway good, and then they would let you on stage. Now it's just too political. I hate doing stand
yeah.
up that way.
Totally. The pressure and it's not fun anymore. Becomes not fun.
It no, it doesn't. You know. Do you remember your first makeout song?
Oh my God. Uh, I don't think I ever made out to a song.
I did.
I don't think so. Um, I don't know. Maybe like Jeff Buckley's album.
Hmm.
Uh, I think it's called Grace.
Yeah.
That one maybe was probably my first like romantic album.
Yeah, I just before seventh grade, me and a friend of mine who ended up going to Aragon. She was actually in plays at Aragon. Um, we made out to Janet Jackson's "Love Will Never Do Without You."
Oh my
That's a
gosh.
great
Yeah.
song.
Oh, memories. Yeah. That was such a thing. Or like seven. what was it, 7 minutes in heaven, or spin the bottle or stuff like that. I never did any of that.
Yeah,
We just, yeah, I'm trying to think, like our parties. Mostly, I like went to parties and just sat and talked with somebody. I've learned that about myself, that I really like getting close to people, like really knowing, in
yeah,
real conversations, that I'm not really good, or I don't really enjoy small talk all that much.
right. Right. Yeah, I've. It's funny. I didn't know what to call it for the longest time, but small talk. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of small talk. I just love to get to know people and have conversations.
Yeah, make real connections.
Yes. Oh, here's a fun question. Do you remember the first time you discovered your belly button?
I don't. No, I don't. I never really put too much thought into it until after I had kids, and I got a umbilical hernia. So then that was an issue with my belly button. But no,
Oh, so
that's a funny question.
do you have an Audi now?
It's kind of back to an innie now, but yeah, it was for a while. It was a super innie, and then it went to an Audi, and now it's kind of adjusted back to its previous innie state.
There was a girl I hung out with when I was 6. She transferred from Texas, and all the girls in my first grade class were mean to me, and she wasn't. And we used to play doctor, and we'd like show each other our belly buttons and like play with them and thump them and everything like that. And so because of her, like the belly button's always been my favorite part of the body.
Oh, really? That's funny.
Yeah, she was kind of the girl that got away. I miss her. Um, she
Oh,
she went down a rabbit hole of drug use, and she was in a loveless marriage for a long time, I heard. And she was kind of the girl
oh,
that got away.
oh. Have you been in touch with her at all, or been able to reconnect with her?
I tried in 2008 on MySpace, but she wasn't interested. She was messed up by that point, sadly. I did talk to her best friend, and she told me what was going on. I was like, okay, I have to respect that. And so I hope she's in a better place now. That's all I can say.
Yeah. Oh, MySpace. Remember that?
Yep, Tom.
That's
Yeah.
so funny. Yeah, that's so funny. I remember, like, I was a freshman in college, and everyone was putting MySpace pages together. I think I had come back in like January, winter break or something, gone to a party, saw all the old high school friends, and they were talking about MySpace, and I was like, oh, okay. So I remember specifically like building my MySpace page with the Golden Gate Bridge in the background, and like putting on the music and everything. And then it really didn't go anywhere, right? Like it kind of was big for a little bit and then fizzled.
Hmm.
And so I don't think I got a Facebook account until maybe like after college for sure. I don't know, maybe early aughts. I guess maybe like 2010.
I
I'll have to look and see when I got a Facebook account.
Yeah, I started mine. I started mine around the same time I started my MySpace, and I didn't use it until 2008 when I was throwing a birthday party for myself, and I used it to invite people, and I had a lot of people already added and stuff, and then from there. MySpace was no longer a part of my life. I just was a Facebook guy
Yeah,
from then on.
yeah, totally. Same. And even now, like I'm not super active really on anything else. LinkedIn a bit, and then I just like link Facebook to Instagram, so that makes it easy for business stuff. But
Oh yeah, it helps me promote my podcast, and that's about it. I
yeah,
mean, there's nothing really else I do. So
yeah,
that's pretty much where I'm at with social media.
yeah, that probably can change.
So who else do you talk to these days from high school?
I am still in touch with Peter Musante
Yep.
and Heather Heels off and on. I would say maybe touch base with her once a year, but more regularly, Peter Musante, Brandy Palazzo, Now Manny
Brandy.
Muskowski.
Hmm.
Yeah. Dan
I
James.
love Dan. How's he doing?
He's doing well. Yeah, he's in the city, so you might run into him now and then.
Yeah.
Um,
I'm in Modesto, but like, if I'm in the city, maybe I'll run into him.
oh, okay, yeah. Georgina Blanc,
Yep.
Andre Blanc a bit here and there. Um, I've been in touch with Lizzie Holper a little bit
Yeah.
over the years. We worked, like, I ran into her a couple times when I was in the city, and we've like gone to dinner. I went to her daughter's birthday party one year with the kids, and we were up there. So a little bit, Lizzie. I always feel like I'm forgetting somebody. I'm sure there's people I'm forgetting, but oh, Matt Frankel.
Matt Frankel, yep. He was on my wrestling team for like a hot minute, I remember.
Okay, oh, that's fun.
Yeah.
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 So yeah, that's pretty much those people I would say predominantly, and then here and there, other people on Facebook and stuff. Like still Facebook friends with Nicole.
My two bestest friends from San Mateo High are Joe Lloyd, who was a year older than us. Everybody called him Rudy because on the football team, and
Okay, I don't think I knew him.
Anna Marie Urbieta, her sister Angelique, was in our class.
Yes, I remember the name. I can't put a face to the name. But have we like I didn't go to the high school reunion, did you?
I did
The 10
back
year?
in 2011. I did, yeah.
And then we haven't had one since then because our 20 would have been during the pandemic.
Yes.
I don't know. I hope that we have another one. I would like to go.
I think we will for the 25th. I have a feeling we will because there's no way that you can have just that one reunion in our class. We got to have at least a 25th.
Yeah, I think like the people that were running it, I know for Jesse's class, like they don't want to run it anymore after the first one. It was just kind of a disaster.
Yeah.
And so I don't know, like, hey, maybe I'll run it. Maybe I'll
Yeah.
start putting it together.
You're a leader. You're good, with people and everything. I think you would be great at it.
Oh, yeah, I just think it would be really nice to see everybody. And I think the 10 year, not so much has changed. People
Yeah.
are just out of college, just kind of starting out and still largely the same person they were in high school, which is what I found out when I went to Jesse's. And I was like, oh, this is like people are still stuck in high school.
Yeah.
Some people.
Yeah.
Um, and
I
that's why I didn't go to ours because I was like, well, this is, it's just going to be the same old stuff.
yeah,
But I think now enough time has passed that it would be.
I went to the 97, 98 reunions. I didn't go to 99. I had to work. 2000, I went, and me and Rudy, we reconnected at that reunion. And I went to '01 and '02. And I think Stephanie Patrick is pissed off at me because it looked like I was crashing that reunion, but I wasn't. I actually showed up with Anna Marie and Adrian Finley, and she hasn't talked to me since then.
Oh no, that's
Yeah,
unfortunate.
yeah. Like
But
Stephanie unfriended me, and she won't re-add me. I'm like, come on. I mean, come on. We were friends. Come on.
aw, I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah, it's weird.
Just misunderstanding.
But our class, though, oh my God, like there was only like maybe 50 people there, and like when they're doing the time capsule, like half the people weren't there.
Oh, I bet. I was
Yeah,
thinking about that. I'm like, I hope I didn't put anything crazy in my time capsule that someone else got.
I didn't even participate in the time capsule. I had nothing to put in there. I remember.
Yeah, I don't even remember if I did it or not. And so, yeah, I was a little worried about that. Like, what did I put in there? What did I write? Like, I don't know.
Who knows? But
Who
hopefully,
did I confess my love to? I don't know. I don't remember.
yeah.
So, we'll see.
W-
I didn't hear anything about it, so.
We'll see.
Hopefully they get through the way.
Grace, I love you. Thank you for coming on today.
Thank you. I appreciate it. It was good chatting with you and catching up.
Yes, it was great talking about the old days of nerding out. You know what I miss about you the most is your hugs. You're such a great hugger.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that.
Yes, and I
Thanks
hope
a lot.
I hope that reunion happens and that you're involved in it. And
Yeah,
I'm so glad that you and Jesse are so blessed. Tell him I said hi.
I will. I will. Yeah, I guess that's another person I've stayed in touch with. From my-
You have yourself
I
a you
will.
have yourself a great summer and be safe.
Thanks. You too.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye bye. Well, there you have it. Grace Machado McClurg. Ain't she a sweetheart? Oh my God, I just adore her. I just love that talk we had. And wow, I really thought she was Italian for the longest time. I always wondered why she wasn't in the Italian club pictures, so now I got the answer to that. She's not Italian. Honduran, she said. Well, until next time, this is Tommy Throwback Kovac saying there's no shame in living in the past because the present sucks. Later, dudes.